Hello friends! After a whole year, Princess Meline has finally moved to Sweden. In June 2023, the royal court announced plans for the youngest royal family member and her husband to move to the Scandinavian country, leaving the United States after 5 years of living there. However, due to a series of problems, the move was postponed for almost 12 months. Now, Meline has set foot on Stockholm soil, intending to settle in the capital for at least a few years. At 7 a.m. on Thursday, the plane carrying the princess and her 3 children, 10-year-old Leonor, almost 9-year-old Nicholas, and 6-year-old Adrian, landed at Stockholm's Arlanda airport. The family flew in from Miami, the city where they had lived in recent years, with a stopover in New York. Cameras captured Meline disembarking from the plane with her children and 2 nannies, although her husband Chris O'Neill was not visible. She was dressed in black leggings, a simple sweater, Nike sneakers, and carrying a large bag. The princess left the plane with a smile on her face, returning home. Her children were dressed just as comfortably, although they looked a bit more tired than their mother after the 11-hour flight. Besides the nannies, they were accompanied by a small dog named Oreo. The family's other dog, Teddy, is still in Miami, where presumably Chris is as well. The absence of Meline's husband is quite surprising, possibly because the businessman is not very enthusiastic about this move. Chris has never liked living in Sweden, he could never adapt to Scandinavian life and, due to his businesses, he always chose other cities. Because of this, Meline and her family had to move several times over the years. When they married in 2013, they lived in New York, where their first daughter Leonor was born in February 2014. However, constant criticism directed at Meline for neglecting her schedule and continuing to draw funds from the state budget forced them to return to Stockholm, settling in the royal stables where the princess has an apartment. During their short stay in Sweden, the couple's second son Nicholas was born, and soon after, they decided to move to London. There, Chris had a broader market for his business, but they returned to Stockholm where their third daughter Adrian was born in March 2018. In the summer of that year, we learned about Meline and Chris's decision to move across the pond to Florida, where they lived for 5 years. Now, Meline is finally returning home, although it seems this move will not be permanent. This can be inferred from the congratulations the Swedish royal family sent her a couple of days ago on the occasion of her 42nd birthday. Princess Meline and her family are moving back home to Sweden after several years spent as expatriates. The princess and Mr. Christopher O'Neill decided that the family should reside in Stockholm for the time being, the statement read. This for the time being leaves the door open for future moves and did not go unnoticed by anyone. It is still unknown where the family will settle to start their new life in Stockholm. As we mentioned earlier, Meline has an apartment in the royal stables, but according to Swedish media reports, the princess has her eye on another property. It's a dream home with 12 rooms located in an idyllic area just 9 kilometers from the center of Stockholm, named Villa Leiberg. After the couple had a hard time selling their mansion in Miami, they acquired a substantial amount of money. Chris and Meline listed the house for sale at €7 million, more than twice what they paid for it. Although this increase was justified by the improvements they made, 2 weeks later they slightly reduced the price to €6.7 million. After months of trying to sell it, they lowered the price to €6.2 million, and it was precisely for this price that it was sold a couple of months ago, fulfilling Meline's wish to return to Sweden. The year of waiting has finally come to an end. Princess Meline has returned to Sweden with her 3 children, leaving behind years of living in the United States. The move, originally scheduled for June 2023, was postponed for almost 12 months due to various circumstances. Now, having set foot on her native Stockholm soil, the princess intends to settle here for at least a few years. However, the absence of her husband Chris O'Neill raises questions and speculation about his unwillingness to adapt to Scandinavian life and continue business in other cities. Meline and her family's move is accompanied by the joy of returning home but also by uncertainty about the future. The Swedish royal family congratulated the princess on her 42nd birthday, noting that this return is for the time being, leaving the door open for future changes. The question of where the family will settle in Stockholm also remains open, although the princess already has her eye on Villa Leiberg, a dream home located just 9 kilometers from the city center. With its 12 rooms and idyllic surroundings, Villa Leiberg seems like the perfect place for Princess Meline and her children to start their new life in Sweden. The villa is spacious enough to comfortably accommodate the family and provides a tranquil environment, a stark contrast to the bustling life they left behind in Miami. However, the process of moving and settling into a new home is never easy, especially with 3 children in tow. The princess will have to overcome the challenges of adjusting to a new routine, schools, and social circles for her children. Meanwhile, Chris O'Neill's absence continues to be the subject of speculation. Some sources close to the family suggest that Chris may join them in Sweden at a later date when he has sorted out his business matters in the US. Others, however, believe that his reluctance to move to Sweden may be indicative of deeper problems within the family. Only time will tell if Chris will decide to move or if the family will continue to live apart for a long time. Despite all these uncertainties, the Swedish public and the royal family warmly welcomed Princess Meline's return. Her return has sparked renewed interest in the royal family, and many are eager to see how she will reintegrate into Swedish society. As a member of the royal family, Meline has many duties and obligations, and her stay in Sweden will undoubtedly bring her closer to fulfilling these responsibilities. In conclusion, Princess Meline's return to Sweden marks an important milestone in her life and the life of the royal family. While the move brings joy and excitement, it also comes with its own challenges and uncertainties. The next few months will be crucial in determining how well the family adapts to their new life in Stockholm and whether Chris O'Neill will join them. For now, the princess and her children are back in their homeland and ready to take on whatever the future holds. Stay tuned for updates on Princess Meline's journey and other royal news in our upcoming issues. That's all for today's update on Chris and Meline's property journey. From listing their home at €7 million to finally selling it for €6.2 million, it's been quite the ride. We wish Meline all the best as she fulfills her dream of returning to Sweden. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more royal news and updates. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.